Welcome to Breaking Barriers. You know your path. We know the obstacles, and we can teach you how to tear them down. And now your host, CEO and founder of Adapting Social, John Vigero.
Welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I'm really stoked to have this foodie with me here today. But it's actually a foodie with a twist, which I'm excited about, Jenny. Jenny Rich. What a freaking name. Jenny Rich. I love that name, by the way.
Thank you.
You can't, when you get married, he's taking your name, right?
He is actually.
Is he actually? Stop that. Because that's a fantastic name.
It's actually funny that you guessed that, but yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Well, listen, I would do the same. Come on, Jenny Rich. That's amazing. Anyway, so you're Monmouth County foodie.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people are say, okay, how the heck did you start doing this? So how did you start in this whole foodie space?
Oh my gosh. So I started the Instagram probably 6 years ago and just would post one post every 6 months. Just of a meal that I had, because I was having cheat meals then. I was bodybuilding, and then after that, it was I would diet and I'd have a cheat meal, and I was like, let me take a picture of this. Started Monmouth County Foodie, didn't think anything of it. And then I started taking videos of my food when I got my new iPhone. I was a couple years ago, or it was 2 years ago. End of April of last year was when I started taking the videos. And I was at Barnacle Bills with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
is that Seaside?
It is in Rumson.
Oh, Rumson, okay.
Yeah. And I took a video, posted it, and it got 4,000 views. And I was like, oh, look, I bet if I just did better lighting and a voiceover, I could be like Meg Things. And I was so I did one the next day at a brunch spot. It was Mayberry Market.
Oh, my sister loves that spot.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
And it got 10,000 views or something. So I was like, wait, I think I'm on to something here.
Yeah.
And I just started doing what I knew to do for my fitness Instagram, which is post 3 times a week, posting reels, having the words go over the video. That's a big thing for people who don't watch with sound, stuff like that.
Yep.
And I just kept posting and posting, and then it was just growing so much faster than my fitness account. And the fitness account that I had was, I know, I was like, okay, great.
What the heck?
Yeah, so the fitness account I had, the engagement was pretty dead on it, because when I started it was when I was bodybuilding, doing bikini photo shoots. It was a bunch of guys following me, and then switched to functional nutrition. They're boring, so I
see you later.
The engagement is pretty bad on that page. The engagement on this page was insane. I was looking at the views and the shares, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I just kept it going, and then it's
people want food.
People love food.
They want food.
Yeah.
So while we were talking before getting set up, so you're the first podcast of the new year in our new studio, which is still under construction. But we started catching up a little bit on the fact that so you're actually in nutrition. So obviously you were a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And now you're still in that space. And you had kind of shared how you were I don't know how people would think about that, right?
Yeah.
But so let me ask you a question though. So first off, I shared with her prior to starting the film, me personally, I think during COVID, I think a lot of us really went off the handle with our health a little bit, especially in the beginning. We're all sitting home, we're just sitting on the couch, right? We're not going to work. And it's then, obviously a year goes by and it's what the hell? But I feel the world really shifted, at least locally for the people I know, 2022 plus or 2021, maybe 2022, everyone started saying all right, I don't want to drink as much, or I want to start getting healthier or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's such a huge benefit that you are actually in the nutrition and wellness space.
Yeah.
And you go to these spots, because the way my POV of it now, actually hearing you say that is all right, well, she likes that spot. Clearly, it's got to be a little clean there, right? Or the stuff's got to be pretty good.
Not necessarily. So I was afraid of my clients finding it at first. I actually kept my identity completely secret for the first, until probably 6 months ago was when I started putting my face in it and stuff. And using, people were sending my video voiceovers to my friends being is that Jenny's voice? And people were catching on. So I just was whatever, I'll let my identity out. But I was worried about my clients finding it, obviously, because I don't tell them to eat that way a lot of the time. But I was, at the same time, I feel a lot of them found it wait, you can eat like this now? Because I did do the work. I spent a year healing my gut, doing all this work where
it took a year?
Well, to go through, I had to fix my adrenals. I had a lot of health issues after competing where I had gained like 30 pounds. Like I was always yo-yoing because it was like I had to do like really strict macros to cut down and then I'd blow up if I like fell off of it. And my cortisol was all out of whack. My adrenals just flatlined. My gut, I had SIBO. I had all sorts of things going on. So yeah. That's,
but what were the markers that you were looking for to get that thing better? Were you like doing blood work a lot or what were you doing?
All different markers. So it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it short. After I competed, I had gained the 30 pounds. I went to a bunch of doctors around here trying to figure it out. It was kind of like a taste of what I do. Like one doctor put me on a supplement I use all the time with my clients now. And it helped a little bit, but it was one supplement. Like so then I went to another one and they ran like a GI map test, which is a stool test for your gut. And it showed I had overgrowth. So he put me on, which is mind-blowing to me now, is one antimicrobial killer, which is like a very gentle one. And if you have SIBO, that's not gonna make a dent. So like, I know that now, but I was like, why am I not getting better, seeing all these different doctors? Then I ended up meeting the owner of my company, and he was telling me about his company where he trains nutritionists. And at this time, I'm in nursing school. I was taking care of my mom who had metastatic breast cancer, so like full time. And so I was in nursing school thinking that's what I wanted to do, and seeing how like the medical system was failing my mom. And he like showed me his process and how he heals all his clients, and it's like a 4F system. And the first one is a flush phase where we work on adrenals, liver, cortisol, all of that. Detox, you do a short-term elimination diet, get rid of a lot of the common allergens. And then after that, you go into...
I'm going there right after this deal. Right after this podcast, you're coming with me, we're going.
After that, gut work. So that's where you do stool testing, you do a 5-hour gut protocol. That's where you need like 3 rounds of 3 different antimicrobials and a binder and like you're working gut lining and you're doing more than just like one antimicrobial.
Is these are supplements or vitamins you're taking though?
Supplements, yeah. So like think of it like sometimes a doctor will try to go in with an antibiotic for SIBO, but if you go in with an antibiotic, you're just wiping out everything. And then it's a race to which grows back faster, the bad bacteria or the good bacteria. Bad bacteria always wins. It's more aggressive, it's faster, and then you're in a worse place than when you started. These antimicrobial supplements are just like super dense versions of like garlic or oregano oil, things that you could never eat that much of that thing to get rid of it. And then you use a bunch of them together. And then you're also using probiotics and getting the good bacteria up. So you're doing it at the same time while like working gut lining, things like that. Then we do fasting work. We spend a lot of time in autophagy. I did a lot of fasting work on myself, getting rid of senescent cells, and then moved into hormone balancing, did a Dutch test on myself, realized I was detoxing my estrogen through a pathway that's associated with an 80% increased risk of breast cancer. So now I'm injecting injectable glutathione, taking broccoli sprouts, and now I retested. I'm all down an anti-inflammatory pathway.
And
that's
well, you look super healthy, by the way.
Thank you.
It's super healthy. I feel so unhealthy next to her. I'm like, damn. I'm like, shit. But for real though.
Yeah. So then I dropped out of nursing school, went into
focus on this.
The school to learn nutrition, or like the nutrition path, and then I got a job at the company that the guy who helped me works at.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
that's
so
incredible.
That's what I do full time, and then I started posting my cheat meals, and now here I am.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I want to download that real quick.
Yeah.
Because I know probably so many people have so many questions, but so when you say you fasted, right? So like, what's like the typical? Like, do you still fast today?
I have to. So I did a genetics test on myself, and I have double blocks on both of, like all of my autophagy genes. So
what does that mean?
Autophagy is like the process of self-cleaning your body has. It's like something we've had, like our primal ancestors had it. We went through natural periods of feast and famine during that time. Now we don't. Like,
now
we're just eat all the time.
We're just feasting.
But your body has this ability to clean out senescent cells, which are cells that have the potential for disease, cancer, things like that. But you have to think of fasting like flexing, like working out, using a muscle. Like you wouldn't go into the gym and get under like a 300-pound barbell squat the first day ever. And that's why fasting gets a bad rep. It's like if someone had done that and then hurt themselves, they might think working out is so bad for you.
Yes.
But we know that's not the case.
Right.
You have to do it the right way.
Right.
The fast doesn't work without the feast. So we have to get our clients up to their metabolic rate. You have to be fed up long enough. Otherwise, you're going to tank your adrenals. If you're a female, it's a lot more complicated than if you're a male.
Right.
You guys are a lot more resilient. Your hormones are less, you'll still lose testosterone if you fast too much and don't feed up enough. But especially as a female, if you fast during the wrong times of your cycle, like your progesterone and estrogen are climbing, then you tank them, you can mess up your cycles, things like that. So there's a lot to consider. The way that I did it during my process was a lot of simulating fasting, because what you're looking for is kind of an optimal GKI score, which is your ketones and your glucose together. You do I do a calculator, so I don't even know what the formula is, but you put it in and it gives you a GKI score. And obviously your blood sugars have to be lower, your ketones have to be higher.
Right.
I was pretty metabolically flexible, so I was able to do that with a mimic fasting diet. So I was more so doing like a 400 calorie, all fats kind of thing for a few days, and then I'd check it, and then I'd go back to carbs. I was carb pulsing and just lowering and lowering. So that means 3 days of carbs, 3 days of keto, and getting lower and lower on my protein to kind of get that simulated thing. And then ultimately I did 1 3-day water fast, and that was the most I've done.
Wow.
But
damn, so 3 days. Oh my gosh. I keep hearing about that 72-hour fast, and I'm like, oh man. Because right now, there's my ass, for me particularly, super quickly, during COVID, I put on 35, 40 pounds. And I'm normally this tall, skinny dude my whole life.
Yeah.
But during COVID, I was drinking like a fish, and I was eating whatever I wanted to eat, and I wasn't traveling all the time like I travel. And I could put all this weight on. So I normally used to sit at 195-ish, and I was at 330. I'm sorry, 230.
330.
I was Rakishi. No, but anyway, so I shot up. And so me and my wife hired this nutritionist, and she was just fast on top of food and stuff. And so now, so I've done it since 2022 to now still. But so for instance, last night I stopped eating at 8 o'clock, and I haven't broken my fast yet. I typically break it at maybe 2 o'clock-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
But now, see, the thing though is I don't have metrics to tell me that's the right thing to do for me.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it, and I am maintaining where I am, obviously, because I lost all that weight.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing to do, or?
So since you're a man, I love intermittent fasting for men. You're resilient. You're not really going to crash your hormones doing that.
Right.
But you're not testing all your metrics. You're not looking at your cortisol. You're not looking at so I would prick your finger and do glucose tests, see where your blood sugars are, see where your ketones are. What are you trying to achieve? If you're just trying to achieve fat loss, intermittent fasting is a good way to do it. But if you want to get deeper autophagy, like preventing disease, cancer, things like that, that's where you have to go a little bit further with it.
Like the 72-hour fast? But how often do you do that?
So I'm a little extreme. I would say once a year.
Okay.
Just because it's so great for preventing.
Good for you.
Yeah. And there's virtually no downside if you're feeding up around it and you're maintaining your muscle mass and you're doing it right.
So when you say feeding up around it, what does that mean?
Just making sure that you're not always in a calorie deficit. You have to feed your body up to what it wants because your metabolism needs food.
Right.
Some people live in a diet and then they try fasting and they're always in a deficit, and then their cortisol just goes crazy. They gain weight and their hormones are all messed up, and then they're not happy and they're I'm fasting, what am I doing wrong? And it's there's more to the puzzle than just not eating.
Yeah. Because what's your take on the Ozempic?
I think GLP-1s are incredible, but they're so abused and they get such a bad rep because you walk into a doctor's office and they'll put you on okay, let's walk you up to 40 units out the gate, and then you flake all this muscle, and then you stop taking it and you gain all this fat back, and you're in a worse place than when you started because you have less muscle. But as a drug, what it's doing for Alzheimer's prevention, inflammation, PCOS clients, fertility, if it's used right. Alongside a functional program at 10 units, it can be really, really incredible.
Wow. Yeah, so that's cool. It's but is it meant to you go on it, you get healthier, and you get off of it, or it's a long-term play?
Yes. So the research isn't great in terms of people getting off of it and keeping the weight off on paper, because a lot of the times it's applied in those circumstances I said, with like the doctor giving you so much and then you go off and you don't change your lifestyle. You can use it, and it can really help you get into deeper autophagy. It can help you with your switching from mTOR to AMPK, which is like your fat burning and sugar burning pathways. It can really help you with bringing inflammation down in your body and getting to, like, I've had clients who I get pregnant with fertility. I don't get them pregnant, but you know,
Jenny.
I help them get pregnant by doing all the things. And then, like, obviously you can't stay off of it, but we walk them off of it in their first trimester. They maintain the pregnancy, and then they have a child. And, you know, I've had clients who we use it for 6 months, and then they come off of it, and we've done so many things to their body, like fix their gut, do all of these things, and then take them off of it, and they keep the low blood sugars. It just makes it less miserably long, because if I want to get someone an optimal GKI score and their blood sugars are 120, it's going to take a long time for me to get their ketones high enough to even come close to a GKI score. But if I can bring in a low dose GLP-1, and I'm talking 10 units, I'm not using 40 units, and I get them to a level where, okay, now with the diet protocols, you've gotten your blood sugars down with a little bit of help from the GLP-1, and we get your ketones high enough, then we're getting rid of senescent cells after we fixed your gut health, and now you're in a better place than when you started. That's how I use it. It's
so cool. Who got it on a Foodie podcast, Neil? We ended up here. I mean, I thought we were going to be that, no, but this is really good, though. I think this is really helpful, and like I said, me personally, like now, obviously following the page, it's like, I'm going to have more context. Again, I like that you clarified, like, hey, I'm not going to not go eat those things because whatever. But it's also just better context, because no matter what, in the back of my head, I'm going to say, if it was that terrible, I don't think she would be eating it, right? And at least it'll just be in the back of my head, even though it's a cheat meal, right? We know it's a cheat meal. But so, all right, let's get into that. So all right, so they're on Monmouth. Like, when it comes to, like, Italian, like, you don't have to say your top favorite, but what comes to mind for you when you think about Italian?
I love Il Nido. That's one of my favorites.
And where's that one?
That is in Marlborough. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That is that BYOB?
That's a good question. No, I don't think it is.
Good.
That's a good one. You know, it's funny. I didn't eat a lot of Italian food when I was younger.
Really? What's your nationality?
I'm just like British and a little Irish.
Get out of here. Okay, all right. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I never really ate a lot of Italian food. I love pasta. It tastes delicious. But it's my friend makes fun of me all the time because she's Italian, and I have to pronounce these words on my, and I'm always like, she's like, can you at least pronounce them right? Like, I'm like, I'm not an expert. I'm just posting my food.
Right.
But yeah, Il Nido's great. I really like the new restaurant in Red Bank, Cateza.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Oh, it's so
great?
good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Put that on the list.
Yeah.
So now, so if you're home and you're about to pig out, you're like, I'm just gonna pig out and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't really do that. That's not my thing.
Happens.
No, like if I think that eating bad is special to me. Like I usually, if I'm gonna eat bad, I mean, I guess if I were to order food, like I'd order sushi or something like that.
So that's your cheat meal? You go to sushi for cheat meal?
No, sushi's like fits into my diet. Like for me, I eat on my plan, which for me right now is just kind of like in a macronutrient range. During the week, I try to stay like gluten-free for the most part. And then on the weekends, I eat gluten, I eat what I want, and I don't really track. But I don't go crazy. Like you'll notice that if you look at my meal in all of the video, it always is protein-based. Even if it's like I'm never ordering just a bowl of pasta myself. Like I'll be the one with the steak, and my friends get mad at me because I'm like, order something different, and they're like, oh, so we have to order unhealthy.
We have to get the shit stuff.
And I'll have a bite of everything, and I'm like, that's the best. But I like to kind of.
But if you are going to have like a crazy at-home cheat meal, what are you eating? Like you're not eating ice cream.
I'm not ordering it out. Am I ordering it home or am I?
Well, what's in your pantry? What's in your fridge? Do you have anything bad?
I have mac and cheese. This is sad, but Kraft mac and cheese is like
that's
my
your fave?
Guilty pleasure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you like Kraft mac and cheese. So
yeah.
all right. So then, I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
That's just like my if I want to feel like childhood home, like I'm home from school sick kind of comfort.
I'm hitting mac and cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. And then if you're out and you're like, I want like a good cheat meal in Monmouth. Where
like a good cheat meal out.
Because you don't need ice cream, clearly, right? You're not an ice cream person?
I love ice cream.
Oh, okay,
Nicholas Creamery is my favorite
fire.
ice cream.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm actually about to do a giveaway for them, so I was just filming it.
Plug.
Yeah. Enter my giveaway.
Yeah.
That's my favorite ice cream.
Okay. And what do you get there typically? You have like a selection?
Oh my gosh. Well, I really want to try, I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try the rainbow cookie one. That's on my next to try
that's
list.
there?
Yeah.
I tell my wife that. She loves that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just rainbow cookies in general. I don't know about the ice cream yet, but.
It looks good. Yeah. So that's on my list. But I usually am like a mint chocolate chip kind of girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, so I haven't seen it yet, but like, is there one video of one place you went to that got the most hits, like because of the place?
So the ones that started all of this were, I did like 5, what was it? Waterfront bars you need to check out this summer. And that was like my hit video. I did like 3 series of that. And it was from my bike bar crawl with my friends this summer. We did like Beach Tavern, then we went to Eventides, and we just went all over. And those blew up. And then Cateza I did, and it was like their opening week, and that one did really well. I did one that wasn't like a collaboration or anything. Me and my boyfriend just went to the place in Sandy Hook, a Mule Bar and Tavern.
Oh, how was that?
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, and I actually was surprised because my boyfriend always wanted to go there, and he likes like dive bars and everything. Like, and I was like, the food's gonna suck. Like, and I was like, the food's really good. So that was.
Those are surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Those places, because my wife likes that stuff too. She's really into like the dive places, and like. She went to college at Rutgers, so she likes like a good dive bar once in a while. But like a lot of those ones have really good food. Like the one next door, the Arc.
Okay.
Great food.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
If somebody's watching this, like I want to build up a page on a social channel, and I want to start like a whatever page I want to start for their favorite thing.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them if they're just starting today?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing, you have to have a niche.
Yep.
That's the number one thing. Like I was kind of feeling like once it started exploding, I was like, oh, do I change my name? And like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself to Monmouth County and food. Because like with Jenny Rich Fit, that's my Instagram for the fitness, I used to get like cool opportunities to like paid travel. Thank you. Yeah. Paid travel, like this, that, whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna get stuck in Monmouth County and like limit myself to restaurants here. Like there's not much cool, like I don't want to be stuck. And then
too limited,
I hired this woman, $250 to audit my Instagram page and kind of give me advice. And she was like, don't change your name. She's like, it's niche. She's like, that's why you're blowing up. She's like, people, like, it's not the same as when you grew your fitness account where like I could post a picture back then and it was like a picture of myself in a sports bra and it's like with an inspirational quote underneath and it'd get like 10,000 shares. Now it's like 5 shares. I'm like, jeez. But like people want to see niche. They want to see like their area. They want to see food, like they want to know what they're coming for. So being niche is like number 1 tip. Number 2, in your bio, the words that you put there are like Instagram polls them to make people search for you. So like originally mine had said like at Jenny Rich Fit sharing her cheat meals, and she looked at that and she was like, okay, that one will take people away from your page because then they'll click Jenny Rich Fit, they'll never remember why they were there, they'll swipe away. She's like, you have to use words that bring people to your profile and also tell them exactly what you're giving them by being there. So I put like, I don't even know what mine says anymore. It says something like showing you the best spots for beauty, food, this, that, whatever. I put like luxury, budget, like all different keywords that people will search and you put them in there. The other advice would just be like reels, still images, don't do it anymore. Now carousels, Instagram is showing carousels. So
they're pushing those,
Yeah, so you will show up if you do that, but for the most part before it was only reels that were showing up. Good lighting, high quality, but still UGC. People don't want to see like branded as much. So like if you see when a brand comes in and like does a photo like a video that's professionally done for a restaurant, people tend to be swiping away from that more. And if you get your camera quality too good where you look like an ad, people are going to swipe away from it. So you still have to be good quality but still look like user-generated content.
Keep your head on a swivel.
And then the last thing is like if you're doing a voiceover, doing the captions along the bottom because so many people listen without sound that they just want
sound.
So
those are good advice points. So all right, I'm gonna hit you with a little something here. This is typically to do that on my podcast, but so now obviously starting this wasn't a cakewalk, right? Like you had to be consistent, you had to get out there, like you said, like building up the fitness page is one thing, right? Because sex sells, right?
Yeah.
And then once you're starting into food and you change things up, it's like it's always the algorithms are always changing.
Yeah.
It's like forever. It's an endless mountaintop.
It's for sure.
Right? It's never stopping. So, when people like, what do you want the long-term legacy to be thought about? Like what Jenny Rich is doing in terms of content creation?
I mean, my number one purpose is to heal people. That's like inside and outside of, like, I ultimately, when I started Monmouth County Foodie and I thought that it could grow to a crazy rate, I was like, I ultimately want to bring people back to Jenny Rich Fit so that I can reach more people and heal them. That's like, my mom passed away and like her legacy.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But my legacy for her was I want to prevent people from getting to that point. Because I know now looking back at the steps that it got her there.
Right.
I'm like, if I had just done this, if I had just known this, I didn't know that then, but I know this for other people.
Right.
So it's like, the more people I can reach one way or another, whether it's through my food page and then they come back to Jenny Rich Fit and then I get them and they hear something I say like, oh, are you having trouble having a baby? Are you having trouble balancing your hormones? Do you have PCOS? Do you have heart history? Do you have this, that, whatever?
Right.
I know how to help you because I know how to help everyone and I just want to get people there.
Right.
So that's my ultimate goal. Yeah.
That's really cool that your mom's tied to the legacy stuff. Were you and her really close?
So close,
Wow.
yeah.
Is there any is there a mom OG saying she said or something that you can think of? That sticks in you?
Not so much. I mean, I could get into some a kind of a long story.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's if we have time for that
Yeah.
one. But she had a lot of funny sayings. She was pretty sassy.
Yeah. That's really cool though. So clearly it supercharges your mission, right? Because you want to be able to help people ahead. That's really cool, Jenny. And so for people watching who are like, where can I find you? This is where you plug yourself.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? IG, whatever, everything.
Monmouth County Foodie, Food IG, Jenny Rich Fit, Fitness IG.
Simple, boom.
Yeah.
You can't fuck that up.
Awesome.
And Jenny Rich, I freaking love that. Still, it's amazing. And thank you so much. I'm going to highly recommend you give her a follow on both pages. And again, at the end of the day, it's like when you have the lens of somebody who is so good with their own health, I think that's so cool because not only that, obviously you be healthy, but you also know the good spots and everything like that. So go give her a follow. And thank you for being the first podcast of 2025 in a new studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bam.